Roger, the CIA's most expensive mistake.
Set this jar of jelly beans on my desk. I hear it'll make me a more approachable boss.
Every respectable intelligence agency has its classified expenses, nuclear secrets, hidden prisons, covert black ops, and Roger.
You don't have the scales. You're not smart enough. Somebody'll clean that up.
Yes, that gray, smug, constantly costumed alien from American Dad, living in the attic of the Smith household.
No more junk food.
What? No, not my Frankenberries. Oh, Francine, please be reasonable.
At first glance, he seems merely eccentric, but look deeper, and you'll see that he's the single most expensive and unstable anomaly in the history of American intelligence.
People talk about filling the void as if it's a bad thing. It's actually full of nerve endings.
Let's break it down. Roger isn't just some alien the CIA is hiding. He's a walking disaster with a wardrobe, the perfect combination of high risk and zero discipline.
Don't you worry, babies. Mama's gonna get some food stamps so you can get the milk duds you need.
He has no fixed identity, no cool-down periods, and not a single day without violating some kind of law, policy, or kitchen appliance.
Damn this city! And scene.
He changes costumes 3 times before breakfast. He invents new personas faster than Stan can say clearance level. And every time he walks out the front door, it's a potential national crisis.
U.S. immigration, where is she?
Run, Annabelle!
Why is Roger a black hole for the CIA's budget? Because every one of his identities requires a cover story, personal history, employment, education, official documentation, passports, licenses, IDs, realism, costumes, social media, online presence, and sometimes cleanup crews, bribed witnesses, or diplomatic apologies.
Don't worry, Stan. I'll keep your tongue safe. Got it, Stan.
He's not just an agent undercover. He's a full-scale living intelligence project that must be maintained, funded, hidden, and, most often, rescued from his own recklessness. Roger isn't a person. He's a financial program, an expensive one. Creating a deep-cover legend for a real spy can cost up to $50,000. That includes fabricating education and job histories, building a background with records and references, fake families, friends, online activity, employment files. Roger, he doesn't have 1 or 2, not even 10. He has over 300 fully realized identities, each with a name, a look, a job, and in some cases, a personal blog.
Captain Francois Dubanet, Roland Chang, General Juanito Pequeño.
Ricky Spanish.
He's been an actress, a pastor, a Mexican drug lord, a German dentist, a dance teacher, and once he pretended to be his own doctor, just to get prescription meds and attention. And let's not forget Professor Johnny Defibrillator, because it sounded cool.
Just gotta close my eyes, clear my head, and find my quiet place. I'll come back to that one.
That's 300 legends at $50,000 apiece. Do the math. That's $15 million in paperwork alone. And we haven't even started talking about what happens after he puts on the costume. The problem isn't that he exists, it's that he's active. The CIA could lock him in a bunker, feed him pizza, and keep the world safe. But that wouldn't be Roger. Roger has to live. He has to act. He has to create drama.
No! Hey, stop it!
Squirt!
No,
Squirt!
quit it!
Squirt!
No, ah!
Which means the agency has to forge documents, rent properties for his characters to live in, hire people to play along, and routinely clean up after him when one of his schemes blows up. Literally.
My study!
And my Turkish bath. Have a fig.
You are so dead!
Roger isn't a secret weapon. He's a line item in the budget. And worst of all, he contributes nothing. He doesn't go on missions. He doesn't collect intel. He's just Roger.
Roger?
Oh, relax. Nothing I haven't seen before.
But because he's an alien, they can't expose him. Because he knows too much, they can't eliminate him. And because he's technically valuable, they have to protect him like he's a nuclear football in dragon heels, with a martini and a gambling addiction.
But I must warn you, I never lose.
So how much does all this cost? That's what we'll figure out in the next chapters. The cost of forged documents and fake identities, damages, lawsuits, and insurance claims, how many actual CIA operations he's ruined, and the financial fallout. And finally, the grand total, a number so big it could fund a moon base or at least 3 seasons of a Netflix show about a smarter alien.
Roger is an alien!
Roger! She was all over me and my wig fell off and we'd be in big trouble. Did Did you see where they went?
Who?
The black guys who did this.
Because Roger isn't just a problem. He's the most expensive mistake in CIA history. Roger doesn't just put on a costume. He doesn't dabble in wigs or fake accents for fun. No, when Roger takes on a new identity, he commits like it's Broadway and he's the entire cast. He doesn't pretend to be someone. He becomes them.
Stan? Francine? Why did you murder your son?
What?
Which means every time he invents a new character, and we're talking hundreds here, it's not just a joke. It's a logistical nightmare that costs real money.
I've seen enough. Drive me home, David. I live right up here on the left.
Let's break down what it takes to support just one of Roger's ridiculous personas, in terms the CIA accountants would probably understand through tears. 1. Paperwork and ID creation. Approximately $50,000 per identity. A legitimate deep cover alias requires passport, driver's license, social security number, birth certificate, credit history, employment records, and yes, sometimes even tax returns. Creating all of that from scratch, without raising suspicion, takes a team. It involves hacking databases, generating false entries in government records, and covering every possible trail. According to real-world estimates, this costs around $50,000 per alias. Roger has, conservatively, 300 plus full personas. 300 times $50,000 equals $15 million. Gone. Just like that. All so Roger can spend one weekend pretending to be Rhonda, the emotionally unstable wedding planner from Tallahassee.
Stan, remember, the first rule of any wedding is the bride is always beautiful. The second rule you can read on my website. You have to be 18 to log on. I have some sexy barnyard stuff on there that is not for everyone. I could get in a lot of trouble.
2. Wardrobe and props. $5,000 plus per identity. Minimum. Roger doesn't do cheap. Every persona he invents comes with outfits, accessories, wigs, makeup, signature cocktails, sometimes vehicles. He once had a character who only wore velvet suits and carried a golden cane shaped like a cobra. That's not thrift shop cosplay. That's luxury method acting. Even if we round down and assume $5,000 in costume and props per persona, 300 times $5,000 equals $1.5 million. And let's be honest, that's probably conservative. Some of his characters dress like they're sponsored by Versace and NASA.
I just had my colors done, and Lydia tells me I'm an autumn. You know, if you fixed yourself up a little, men would find you attractive, too. Instead of wondering if you're in the middle of gender reassignment surgery.
3. Living expenses and environment staging. $10,000 to $100,000 each. Roger doesn't just act, he moves in. Some identities rent apartments. Others have jobs. Some have roommates. One had a fake spouse and a dog. The CIA, in order to maintain these illusions, often has to lease property under fake names, pay utilities, create fake workplaces, fill rooms with props, family photos, and personal items, hire actors to be co-workers or neighbors. Let's estimate an average of $25,000 in living setup costs per identity. 300 times $25,000 equals $7.5 million. Also, Roger can have a 2-week run as Sheila, the morally conflicted librarian who moonlights as a pyromaniac.
I feel good about this. Really good. And not just because I'm on OxyContin. Though that is...
4. Digital footprint and online presence. $1,000 to $3,000 each. In today's world, being real means existing online. Each Roger persona has email accounts, social media profiles, LinkedIn pages, fake news clippings, sometimes even YouTube channels. Maintaining this fake presence costs money. It involves bots, server hosting, digital forensics teams to make it all believable. Say $2,000 per identity. 300 times $2,000 equals $600,000. Just to ensure that Barry, the failed sculptor from New Mexico, gets tagged in a believable Yelp review.
El perro es mi corazón. El gato no es bueno.
Total so far, $24.6 million. Yep, that's $15 million for documents, plus $1.5 million for costumes, plus $7.5 million for real estate and setups, plus $600,000 for digital infrastructure. And that's assuming Roger doesn't burn it all down mid-meltdown, which he often does.
I programmed them to feel burning. Back to crazy! Ah!
This is money the CIA could have spent on satellites, surveillance drones, or, actual espionage. But instead, it's paying for Roger to live out his fantasy as Nicky LaFontaine, failed opera singer with a drinking problem.
Excuse me, ma'am. Will you be making a purchase with us today?
No, I will not.
If there's one universal constant in the American Dad universe, it's this. Wherever Roger goes, chaos follows.
It was her birthday. And you know how I am when I drink champagne. Ah!
He's not just a master of disguise, he's a walking insurance claim. No matter who he pretends to be, a florist, a CEO, a nun with rage issues, the outcome is usually the same. Something explodes, someone sues, and the CIA ends up footing the bill.
You sold the senator's daughter? How did this happen?
Ugh, I've told this story so many times today. You should just ask my hairdresser.
And if you think that damage is just cartoon logic, try imagining the real-world cost of replacing a suburban home that was accidentally launched into orbit because Rita, the rocket scientist, had a flair for flair.
Are you crazy pushing me in the pool? I had 40 hits of ecstasy in my pocket. Buckle up, kids. They're gonna have to go to the hospital.
Let's follow the trail of destruction and calculate just how much Roger has cost U.S. taxpayers in broken buildings, burned bridges, and destroyed dreams. 1. Household damage, the daily disaster zone. Roger lives in the Smith household, technically, but he also lives in the attic, in the basement, in the garage, in at least 3 hidden rooms he built illegally behind walls. He constantly trashes the house during identity crises, costume changes, or late-night martini rampages. He's flooded bathrooms, exploded kitchens, set fire to living rooms, and once accidentally summoned a demon in the hallway. Estimated cost of home repairs per season? At least $30,000, not including psychological damage to the Smiths, across 20 seasons. $600,000 in household damages alone.
I guess you'll never ask me to be your plus one.
You're fat, Helen.
2. Public property. Parks, streets, schools, libraries, all gone. Roger's personas don't stay home. They go outside. And when they do, buildings suffer. Examples include destroying a city park during a historical reenactment gone rogue, blowing up a school gym because Karina the volleyball coach had unresolved anger, driving a stolen limousine through a mall during Black Friday, accidentally setting fire to a public library while pretending to be a romance novelist. Public repair estimates. Minor incident, $10,000. Major, $100,000. Average cost per Roger event, $25,000. Estimated number of documented events, approximately 40. 40 times $25,000 equals $1 million in public property damage. And let's not forget the legal fees when someone asks, why was there a grown man in drag fighting a mime in City Hall?
What the? You always get what you want, don't you, Helen?
3. Business destruction. Restaurants, salons, and 1 clown school. Roger has applied for and been fired from more jobs than anyone in Langley Falls. Every time he enters a new workplace, the building suffers, HR quits, and at least 1 Yelp review mentions fire, screaming, or a raccoon in a wig. He's crashed food trucks, lit up kitchens, gotten into brawls in break rooms, and accidentally bankrupted a daycare.
You guys are like little people.
Average cost of business damage closure, $20,000 to $50,000 per incident. Let's estimate 20 businesses destroyed times $35,000 average equals $700,000.
What's with this Speedo, Jeremy? It's too baggy. Is it a tandem Speedo for 2 men? Even this is too loose. Mark, hop in here.
4. Personal injuries and medical bills. Not his, everyone else's. Roger's chaos comes with a body count. Thankfully not fatal, most of the time, but definitely expensive. He's responsible for concussions, burns, broken bones, emotional trauma, and 1 guy who got stuck in a vending machine for 3 days. Legal settlements and medical payouts average $15,000 per injury. Let's say 30 major injuries directly tied to Roger equals $450,000 in liability claims. And that doesn't count Stan's repeated hospital visits or Francine's therapy bills.
Can you watch where you're going? Can you go?
Total, so far, $2.75 million in destruction. Let's sum it up. Smith household repairs, $600,000. Public damage, $1 million. Business loss, $700,000. Injuries and lawsuits, $450,000. Total equals $2.75 million. And again, this is just what's been shown on screen. Behind the scenes, there's probably a warehouse full of paperwork, unpaid fines, and property owners yelling, "Who the hell was that guy in sequins and why did he drive through my patio?" Roger's presence doesn't just risk the Smith family's safety, it's a national financial burden. And while he may think it's all part of the performance, someone at CIA Budgeting and Logistics is quietly screaming into a spreadsheet.
How dare you!
Every intelligence agency has a budget for cleanup. It's routine, sometimes urgent, often expensive. But in Roger's case, it's never ending. Hundreds of personas, dozens of disasters, too many witnesses, all caused by a single undocumented alien who gets bored easily. Every time Roger goes outside, the CIA launches yet another containment operation. There are no reports, no public records, only invoices, and desperate meetings in Langley basements.
We're gonna have lots of babies.
No.
Episode 1, Surveillance Cameras. The average U.S. city has over 70 surveillance cameras per person. Roger can appear on 5 before lunchtime, whether it's crystal and purple eyeshadow and antennae dancing near a police station, or a woman who hotwires a car while singing in German. Someone records it. The CIA sends in teams to access and wipe footage, replace video segments, seize equipment if needed. Average cost per wipe, $30,000. Estimated 30 such incidents per year. Total, $900,000 just to erase security footage.
Why is there a hole in Daniel Craig's mouth?
He was hungry and I was feeding him something.
Episode 2, Witnesses. Roger doesn't lay low. He loves attention, drama, and conflict, which means people notice him. Examples, taxi driver. I drove a lady, or maybe a guy. Skin like plastic, eyes like an owl. Neighbor. She said she was from Mexico, but had a weird echo in her voice. Waiter. She called me a subspecies and vanished through the bathroom wall. These people can't be silenced, but they can be persuaded. The CIA typically offers hush money, NDAS, therapy sessions, or a government-approved explanation. You were just tired. Average payout, $7,500 per witness. Estimated 50 witnesses per year. Total, $375,000 on silencing civilians.
Roger! I'm sorry, I got the bloodlust.
Episode 3, Government Records. Sometimes Roger goes too far. He doesn't just act out a persona. He becomes part of the system. Traffic tickets, bank loans, voter registration, even public employment. These traces must be wiped from DMV, credit bureaus, police databases, HR systems. Each operation to erase official data costs about $30,000, times roughly 15 incidents annually. Total, $450,000 for database correction.
This isn't my feather boa. It's beautiful, but it's not mine. This has been inside someone.
Episode 4, Media Control. When an incident becomes too public, the CIA must manage the narrative. Examples, gray figure hijacks police boat becomes performance art at local fair. Unidentified woman with no pulse gives speech, is actress with advanced prosthetics. This requires media consultants, fake witnesses, scripted interviews, planted stories. Each media operation costs around $100,000, times about 10 per year. Total, $1 million on media manipulation.
Now there's just the issue of your payment.
I'm sorry, I'm tapped out. I keep giving away money.
Well, I accept several forms of payment.
Final tally, camera footage removal, $900,000. Civilian witness suppression, $375,000. Government record erasure, $450,000. Media operations, $1 million. Grand total, $2,725,000 per year. Yep, just to ensure no one realizes that an alien in drag lives in suburban Virginia.
Now, we've had enough of this. That's a little trick I learned to quiet newborns when I worked in the maternity ward.
Is it worth it? The CIA doesn't comment. But the budget? It gets approved every year. From the outside, Roger's personas might seem like simple dress-up. A wig here, a costume there, maybe a ridiculous accent and a new martini recipe.
Loose! Cut loose! Let us drink some more booze!
But beneath the surface lies a far more complex and expensive reality. The infrastructure of deception. Because Roger doesn't just invent names, he builds worlds. Each of his personas comes with a backstory, lifestyle, belongings, habits, and in many cases, an entire physical and social environment to support the illusion. And someone has to make it all look real. That someone most often is the CIA.
Roger's hosting Conspiracy Con in the attic.
That's what's going on up there? I assume those creeps were here for a Roger sex thing.
Don't beat yourself up, Stan. We're also having sex. The condoms hurt like hell, but I'm not ready to be a mother. Oh crap, the foil got lost inside me. Francine, if you're going to the store, pick me up some Plan B and a magnet.
Let's take a look at what it truly costs to keep Roger's alter egos functioning. Not just on paper, but in the real world. 1. Renting safe houses and fake apartments. Many of Roger's personas have their own homes or apartments, away from the Smith household. Some live in modest suburban units, others in penthouses with themed decor. One persona famously insisted on only living above a bakery that smells like regret. To maintain the illusion, the CIA often leases the property, furnishes it to match the identity, pays utilities and ongoing maintenance, creates neighbors and fake rental history. Estimated cost per property per month, $4,000. For just 10 identities at a time, that's $480,000 per year.
You won't be undersold. Try this same camcorder at Monty's for $20 less.
You have your receipt?
No, I don't have a receipt. I stole the floor model.
2. Hiring supporting actors and extras. A fake identity isn't convincing without people to validate it. So when Roger becomes Antoine the French socialite, suddenly he has co-workers, a girlfriend, a boss who's always disappointed in him, and sometimes a rival named Vincenzo. All of them are actors, paid to maintain the illusion, sometimes for weeks. Professional extras and improv actors don't come cheap. Let's assume each active identity requires 3 to 5 supporting roles at $1,000 per week per actor. With 10 identities in rotation, 30 actors times $1,000 per week equals $30,000 per week. Annual total, $1.56 million.
But I hope you understand. I can't let you come inside.
I respect that.
So you can either do it on my back or my feet. Dealer's choice.
3. Props, vehicles, pets, and odd demands. Roger doesn't just play roles, he immerses. Some of his identities require vintage cars, purebred dogs, custom furniture, typewriters from the 1930s. Or once, a talking parrot trained to say, "She didn't mean to hurt you, Steve." The cost of fulfilling these bizarre but essential character details adds up quickly. Estimated flexible budget for these demands? $250,000 per year. That doesn't count replacements when Roger inevitably crashes the car or lets the parrot escape.
You crashed my perfect truck into that hideous Tesla!
4. Social media and digital footprint maintenance. In the modern age, people check online profiles before believing anything. Roger's fake lives must include Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, sometimes even TikTok, blogs, online portfolios, social activity, followers, photo libraries. This means CIA staff or contractors are hired to post regularly, manage interactions, stage believable life updates. For 10 active personas, platform management plus content creation approximately $5,000 per month. Yearly total, $60,000.
Stan, I'm at Shenanigans. I'm super drunk and about to get raped. Come pick me up in 45 minutes. Hey, I did call you. I sound great. I should get voiceover work. In a world where vomit comes out of my mouth.
5. Continuous background updates and surveillance. The illusion doesn't stop once it's built. It needs constant adjustment. Backgrounds need refreshing. Witnesses need follow-ups. Occasionally, an actor is replaced when they break character or ask too many questions. CIA handlers must monitor all interactions in case someone starts suspecting that their coworker, Mindy from HR, is actually a 1.6-meter gray alien with a wig and a martini addiction. Internal surveillance plus HR rotation plus identity audit teams equals $200,000 per year minimum.
No, silly. Jerking off at our sleepover.
I don't think that we agreed on that.
All right, Steve. Play it cool for your parents.
Final breakdown. Safe house leases, $480,000 per year. Supporting actors, $1,560,000 per year. Character props and lifestyle, $250,000 per year. Digital presence maintenance, $60,000 per year. Continuous background and surveillance, $200,000 per year. Total, $2,550,000 per year. Yep, all of this just to let one alien live out his fantasy as a failed Romanian chess champion who runs a yoga blog.
You used to live in these vulnerable bodies. Bodies break down. Look!
The CIA could have said no. They could have retired him. They could have quietly sent him to Area 51 and called it a day. But they didn't. Because once you've invested millions into the lie, you have to keep feeding it. The CIA is a global intelligence powerhouse with a multi-billion-dollar budget and tens of thousands of employees. Its operations span covert eliminations, agent infiltration, cyber warfare, and maintaining national security. But among all external threats, one of the most consistent sources of disruption is internal: Roger.
Roger, I see you're busy, but I was thinking it's time I teach you how to do some stuff on your own. Laundry, cleaning, making your own iced tea.
No!
The alien under unofficial CIA protection is not just an ethical dilemma, he is an operational liability. The reason? His unpredictable behavior, obsession with adopting new identities, and complete disregard for boundaries.
Did you sleep with all these?
Down missions disrupted by Roger. There are multiple documented incidents where Roger, accidentally exposed undercover agents, appeared in operational zones during active missions, disclosed classified information to civilians, impersonated diplomats, officials, or intelligence personnel in sensitive environments. In one case, Roger, while posing as a sociology professor, unintentionally sparked a protest at a foreign university, resulting in a full extraction of the CIA team. In another, he gave a public interview while pretending to be a former intelligence operative, which was published by a real media outlet and triggered an internal investigation. Financial fallout. The failure of a single overseas operation, including agent deployment, logistics, surveillance, and tech, can cost between $1 to $5 million, assuming a minimum of 5 disrupted missions tied directly or indirectly to Roger's actions. 5 missions times $2 million average equals $10 million in direct losses. This doesn't include reputational damage, collapse of long-term strategies, loss of local assets, delays to parallel operations.
Nice. Madam, please uncover yourself. Does anyone have more areola pink? I only have 1 tube.
Reputation risks and info leaks. Roger's presence within the agency is an ongoing information hazard. He has knowledge of agency structure, protocols and internal workflows, agent identities, secure databases, logistics and cover strategies, and at any moment, he might, intentionally or not, expose that information. In an interview, in a bar, during a one-man show, or on a podcast in character. Each leak is costly to clean up. But more critically, Roger's very existence puts the integrity of the CIA's intelligence network at risk.
Klaus, these girls don't look that desperate.
Click on over 35 and never married.
Jackpot!
Why hasn't he been isolated? The question remains unanswered. Officially, the agency offers no comment. Unofficial sources claim Roger is part of an ongoing behavioral research project under a joint initiative with the Pentagon. In other words, he's not treated as a threat, but as a unique, unpredictable case study. And so, even though he causes financial and operational damage, the system continues to fund and protect him, because the alternative might be even more complicated.
Need a hand?
No, Roger, I don't need help.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to these 2 little Christmas miracles.
The final bill. How much Roger cost the CIA and why he still isn't contained. After 6 detailed breakdowns, one thing is clear. Roger is not just an alien living in the Smith's attic. He's a full-scale government expense category. Unstable, unpredictable, dangerous, and yet, for some reason, still under official CIA protection.
Stop telling everyone you're an escort.
Gotcha. Low-key. I'm all over it. I'll circulate, but give me the signal. 2 taps on the nose, and I'll come running to suck you off. Did you just do it? I blinked.
It's time to total the damage. Total estimated expenses related to Roger. Creating identities and false backgrounds. $24,600,000. Property damage and destruction. $2,750,000. Evidence erasure and cleanup operations. $2,725,000. Maintaining fake lives and environments. $2,550,000. Failed CIA missions caused by interference. $10 million. Grand total. $42,625,000. Yep, and this isn't a lifetime total. This is a rough annual estimate based on the frequency and scope of Roger's activity. For context, it exceeds the yearly funding of nuclear safety agencies in several U.S. states. It's equivalent to building a new low-tier military base. It's 3 times the budget of an average federal cybercrime prevention program.
Bing Cooper, sexually active high school senior.
Why hasn't he been contained? There are several possible reasons. Scientific interest. Roger is biologically and psychologically unique. Certain government departments consider him a living research opportunity. Bureaucratic inertia. Over the years, an entire support structure has formed around him. It's simply easier to keep funding the cover-ups than to resolve the core issue. Roger himself. He's not stupid. He knows his value and may use manipulation, or even blackmail us to maintain his freedom. The details are unclear.
Is this the same girl whose picture you put in your pajama bottoms before you go to bed?
You know about that?
Who do you think takes your pajamas off at night?
Conclusion. Roger isn't just a problem. He is the most expensive, absurd, and self-sustaining money sink in CIA history. And despite the losses, he remains the one element no one dares to eliminate. There are no official comments. Meanwhile, Roger is likely trying on a new costume, and at this very moment, possibly applying for a loan under the name Countess Lady de Bourbon. And somewhere in Langley, someone is already calling the cleanup team.